Hi, I'm Houston Barnyard, and here's a couple things you might not know about me. One of the questions I get a lot is, Houston Barnyard, your real name? Yes, it's my real name. I was named after my uncle, who died on the farm when he was 2 years old, and he was named after another Houston Harrison, who died of a gunshot in about 1910, and he was named after James Houston, another relative, who got shot when he was 21 in a gunfight. So the name doesn't really have a lot of, positive history, I guess, but it is a family name and it is my name. I'm not from Texas. My parents didn't conceive me in Houston. I'm actually from Oklahoma. And I think if we were going to name the band after the city we're from, it'd be Boston because we're based in Boston. But Boston Barnyard Band didn't have the same ring to it. Some of my favorite misinterpretations of my name. Huston Barnyard Band, playing on the 23rd. That's what it was on the poster. Or Houston Barnyard Band, which kind of has a funny ring to it. But those are the most, or actually the guys in the north end of Boston say, Houston Barnyard. That's probably my favorite pronunciation of my name. The biggest crowd I ever played for was at the Xfinity Center, and I was there to see Bryan Adams. And he said, "Hey, does anybody play guitar?" And I was like, "I play guitar." She said, "Hey, come on up." I was like, "All right." So I went up, he put his guitar on me, and he brought a couple other people up. He called it his bullshit band. And little did he know I actually played and sang. And we started playing Summer 69 badly. And the person that was brought up to sing forgot the words. So I looked over at Brian, I jumped on the mic, and I was just like, got my first, I started singing to this crowd of, 10,000 people. And it was pretty cool. And then he looks at me, he's like, yeah. So I look over, I wink, and I'm like, yep. And then when everyone was getting off the stage that he had brought up on the stage, I went around to meet the band because I've been a fan of his whole crew for a while. I got Keith Scott's guitar pick. I met Mickey, the drummer, the keyboard player. Then I went up to Brian towards the end, and I said, "Hey man, I love you." And he's like, really short to me. And he said, "I love you too. Just get off the stage." The coolest show I ever played was when we opened up for Montgomery Gentry at the House of Blues in Boston. That was a really cool show because the energy was great of the audience. They're ready to rock out and have a good time. We had actually gotten a call that morning to open up, and a couple of my band members were already booked for other gigs and they couldn't cancel. So we just invited some people that we knew, and they learned a whole set in a day. They came up and played, and we just kicked butt. And then we were hanging out with the band afterwards a little bit, and then we were loading up our gear as we do in our SUVs or whatever, and we were parked right next to the bus. And Troy from Montgomery Gentry, he opens the door, he says, "Hey, you guys want some moonshine?" I was like, yeah. So he invited us on the bus. We had some moonshine and we talked and had a good time. We were just laughing, and it was a really great show, great night. And I sold a ton of merch, which is always good when you have a lot of merch to try to sell. I served in the U.S. Army for a few years. I was a master fitness trainer. I did water purification, and I also was a petroleum specialist, which is also known as a guy who pumps gas. But I'm proud to have served in the U.S. Army, and I appreciate everyone who does serve.
Get a piece of mind on a piece of land. If you can't pay cash, you don't need it that bad. We look you in the eye and shake your hand.